I've been to the top of the world. Drugs, debauchery, sex, deviant sex. I was vilified during my career.
Did that hurt?
No. If only they knew that's what I used to actually win. And I won. Frontal lobe dementia is real, and this is what's happening to us fighters.
Do you think you were a victim?
No, I was too strong. Well, the democracy that I'm seeing today is that it's telling you that men can have babies. That doesn't actually belong here in Great Britain, and I am the Great Britain. Come and speak to me. Do not cut that up, please.
Do you feel that your son, is he listening to the wrong people now?
Of course. And he's choosing to go and learn the hard way.
Do you have a complicated relationship with your son now? I take on boxing world champion Chris Eubank. Chris opens up like you've never seen him before. So get ready for this, but before we do, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. One of the things that I'm fascinated about is people's personal brands. I've got a marketing background myself, and you are known, I would say, by most people as a somewhat eccentric gentleman fighter. Is that something that you purposefully planned, or did it come through naturally in the media stuff that you did and things like that?
I'm not I think the word is I'm just being simple. I'm not being. There really isn't anything to me other than the fact that people seem to think that there is, and all I keep on doing is explaining that there isn't. It's not. There's a word. What is that word? I don't want to use the word fake. It's not fake. It's authentic. It's just being yourself. So people may say, well, okay, he's a boxer, and so therefore he should be like this. But you got to get rid of the misconception. You got to take people as you see them. You take me as I am. You take my content. If I seem to be bolshy, then I'm bolshy. If I seem to be agitated, then I'm agitated. If I seem to be reasonable, then I'm reasonable. So people should take people as they find them. And there is, gentlemanly personification is what, the mothers, Queen Elizabeth II, this is what they expected of us, men, to be men, to be, as fantastic and fabulous as we are as men, and to embrace and love and adore and, be mesmerized and be fascinated by what we are, men. We are fascinating, we are wonderful, we are beautiful, but you only see that when we are true. Yeah.
Do you think enough people are true to themselves, or do they put on this appearance? You said around the word fake, or maybe not using that word, but do you think that people are fake too much and they should be more them, even if it does come across to some people as a bit eccentric, maybe?
Eccentric. Do you know the meaning of the word?
I believe so. I think I might struggle to define it. But
Define, try to.
Okay.
And as people may actually see the word as well. Define.
Something that's not usual, I would say. But it goes beyond just not usual. Perhaps there's an element of it, someone being a bit particular, perhaps, if they're defined as eccentric, might come into that.
Particular. So, first and foremost then, eccentric then is a word that, the populace is being told to think that it is somewhat removed, where in fact this is how we're supposed to be, authentic. So when they say eccentric, it's almost like they put you into a category which has nothing to do with what is normal. You know, I see myself as being normal when I speak the way in which, you know, even the schools, well, certainly Queen Elizabeth II expected. You know, you have a monarchy here. I don't so much look to the monarchy, but I look to the Queen Elizabeth II and what she expected of her subjects. And that is, you know, if you're a lady, if you're a girl, be a lady. If you're a man, you know, be a man, be a gentleman. You know, so anyone who comes with these outside rules which are, they're not applicable to us. You know, if we are to be gentlemen, and who can talk down a gentleman? You can't talk down a gentleman because he's considerate. You know, he uses empathy. He's sensitive. He's not a moron. A gentleman is kind, considerate, feeling. You know, it's only that I'm a boxer and they don't associate boxers with feeling or sensitivity. Yeah. If only they knew that's what I used to actually win. And I won.
So that was actually going to be our next question. Do you think that authenticity helped you in your boxing career?
Naturally. Naturally. When you can see someone is... when you can see someone ignores, which is normal, when you can see that someone is ignoring what is normal or what should be normal, then that person is showing you that they are, you see, ignorant. But look at what ignorant is. It's just ignoring something. I'm not having a go at those who would ignore, but the term is, if you ignore, then you're ignorant. Okay, so can you imagine now? I'm talking to a guy who I'm going to fight. And he's telling me that he hates me. He's telling me that he's stupid.
Okay.
So if he's stupid, then all I've got to do is say, well, if this guy is this stupid to be telling me that, then I've got to be able to beat him because he's not objective. And everyone's looking at me like I'm eccentric or I'm, you know, abnormal or somehow, you know, odd. Why? How do you consider me odd if my opponent tells me he hates me? And I say, well, I don't hate him. I just want his title. How do you see me as an eccentric? Shouldn't you see him as an eccentric in the negative? So the idea is to just be normal. Because when you're normal, you are authentic in terms of who you are or who your parents brought you up to be. And our parent in this country, in terms of, you know, the figurehead, was Queen Elizabeth II. You know, you didn't see her swearing or acting like a man. You didn't see Prince Philip acting like a woman, mincing. You didn't see him doing that. So where did that come from? And wherever it came from, go back to where you came from, because that doesn't actually belong here in Great Britain. And I am the Great Britain. And I don't say that with ego. I say it because if no one else is going to be a bastion, then let it be me.
Do you see that as an important part of what you do now? You want to take that role?
I've taken it. I took it long ago. I took it before I made world champion. And what is taking it? Taking it is taking the position of the gentleman. Just because I'm a boxer doesn't mean I should behave like a moron. I mean, look at all of these guys using bad language, thinking that I'm going to sponsor them, thinking that I'm going to... do you think you're going to get sponsorship? Do Do you think you're going to get respect? Do you think you're going to have a legacy with this bad language? You can't. Someone looks at your social media and they see who you are. And if you're using bad language, or if you're being foul, or if you're there drinking and you're going, you're running amok, you're destroying your future in terms of the things you want to do. And you're certainly not shining the light you should be shining on your parents, who are responsible for the way you've been brought up. Or, but the schools take over and other children start bringing up your children. And doesn't work. So does it turn out to end up looking like, well, you're the odd one out? We all swear, so it's kind of like we're normal. But you don't swear, you're abnormal. And you're abnormal to where like you're weird. No. You swearing you're weird because you are hurting yourself. Okay, that's from one point of view. You're hurting yourself from one particular point of view, which is that you're not going to get endorsements if you're in the sports industry. The second point of view is this, which is really most certainly the most important point of view, is that you are speaking yourself into a quagmire in terms of how you can move forward in your life. You can't move forward with negativity. It's an energy, and the energy is low. So when you're speaking low energy, or when you're swearing, or when you're criticizing, or when you are not being grateful for what you have, or when you're looking for instant gratification, or when you are playing to the audience, doing what you think they may like. When you're not standing on principle, you've already lost. And you are losing. You can't become a positive energy, which then gives you positivity. You can't become that by playing to the audience. That's why they didn't like me. They love me now because I stuck to my guns. I was vilified during my career. Vilified. The media seemed to dislike me immensely.
Did that hurt?
No. How can I be hurt when I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm looking at you like, are you guys, you're giving me all this publicity and I'm just doing what's normal? It was crazy. And now, 33 years on, I'm like, well, these guys gifted me. My opponents gifted me with their ignorance. Again, I don't speak in a derogatory way about them. The word ignorant means they chose to ignore. They chose to ignore standing on principle. When you stand on principle, you may be the odd one out, but you're right. And you are going to age well. And I am living proof. So please, do for yourself. Other people won't do it for you. Do not follow. If anything, you follow the sages. You follow the principles of the elders, of the wise, of your parents. As a Brit of Queen Elizabeth II. It's what I did. And I'm not just winning, I won. Yeah.
You won and you were an elite champion.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think was different about you that allowed you to become that elite champion that other people trying to do the same thing don't have and weren't able to get there?
Because they're listening to people who don't know. And when I say the people who don't know, okay, let me rephrase. Let me come from it a different angle. What made me different It's simple. It's simple. It's just standing on principle. You know, I should listen to someone outside of me, which is saying that, you know, do it this way, when principle says do it this way. Do it without harming anyone. Do it without speaking ill of anyone. Do it with objectivity, or another word for objectivity is love. Love, the love I'm speaking about, has nothing to do with sex, has nothing to do with relationship between a man and a woman. The love I'm speaking of is the one of self, where, you know, the love is, I love the world. I love the fact that I'm able to breathe. I love the fact that I'm going through this experience. And if I'm going through this experience of life, then so is the person I'm facing. Now, what do I want for that person? I want for that person what I want for myself. That's the love I'm talking about. Objectivity. So I speak to you like you are me. I do to you what I wouldn't mind you doing to me. That not just wouldn't mind, that I would appreciate if you would do to me. You know, treat me as I want to be treated. I will do that for you and you do that for me. When men can show how it works when you are divinely masculine, which isn't any different to being the feminine, the divine feminine. We are who we are. We are a man. We are men. We are made for women. A woman is made for a man. That's the old school. Queen Elizabeth didn't know any other way. So, you know, if there are these new schools of people coming up saying that there is a different way, come and speak to me.
Wow, okay, speaking to Chris is certainly an experience. Before I get to my next question for Chris, I want to quickly let you know that if you're a business owner, marketer, entrepreneur, you're advertising your business online and you want significantly better results than what you're currently getting, my company can almost certainly help you achieve that. We create, manage, and optimize online ad campaigns for businesses. If you are interested, there's a link in the video description below. You can click on that, go through to our website and book in a free call with one of my team members to find out more about our service. Hopefully, we get a chance to work together.
You know, if you can convince me that you are right, then I will help you actually spread your word. But if you're wrong, I'll make you look like the fool that you are.
Would you consider yourself a traditionalist then? You've talked a lot about...
Of course. Of course. Yes. But the fact that society has given you the wherewithal to even ask me that question, that shouldn't be a question. That shouldn't be. It's a given. I'm a man, so I should be doing manly things, masculine things, which is so attractive. It is so attractive. It's beautiful. It's beautiful to be a man. It's a wonderful gift. I say gift. You know, people say, "What's the meaning of life?" Mm-hmm. Again, that's a wrong thing to put to someone. What's the meaning of life? It isn't about the meaning of life. It's realizing that life is a gift. So once you know that it's a gift, then what next? Then if it's a gift, the meaning then becomes, as we are human beings, it then becomes the creativity, imagination. Using the creativity that we have to call into existence whatever we want. And the way I learned that is the hard way. I used the hardest vocation to find out this truth. which was to fight my way from the gutter and get to the top. And what we end up with is, or what I've ended up with, this could have been so much easier. If all I had to do was visualize what I wanted. Visualize and be straight, be true, be correct, be decent. Be hardworking in the right way, which is to do it backwards. Don't look at what you want. Be who you want now and work backwards, work it backwards. Be who you want to be now. Keep quiet about it and start working toward that. So at the age of, I became an amateur at 16. At 17 years old, I said to myself, right, okay, I'm an amateur. I've only had a few fights, but I'm going to be a professional. And so as an amateur, with my amateur license, I became a professional in my mind. So I ran like the professionals ran in the morning, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning. I spoke like a professional. So I acted, I embodied what a professional is. I then soon became a champion. I'm a champion. So I walked like a champion, I talked like a champion. I didn't threaten people as champions shouldn't do. Do you understand? I didn't override people because I could fight. You know, I knew I can fight. This person in front of me is not thinking, they're ignoring the fact that I have my feelings too. Now, this guy's pushing me around. If I hit him, it makes me a moron because I can fight. The fact that he doesn't know it, it makes me a bigger man. He doesn't know that I can fight, and I'm going to protect him. I'm not going to beat him up. That's how you advance yourself.
Did you always see life that way as a gift, or is that something that you realised through your journey?
I had to fight. Yeah, I had to fight and do it the hard way to now realise that it's a gift. The meaning of life is to find out that it's a gift, and that with our cosmic abilities, you know, we're not strictly human. We have within us spirit, and you can harness that spirit. And if you harness the spirit, it will give you whatever you want. So this is where the law of attraction comes in. Your spirit will give you whatever you want if you harness it. Okay, so I would say to you, you know, and the audience, I would say, well, you know, have you ever seen the spirit? Yes, you have. I'll tell you, let me just qualify that just to make sure that it's not a normal understanding. Have you ever seen the spirit?
I don't believe I have.
Right, so good. Yeah, you've seen it all the time, but you haven't recognized it. Okay, so the spirit is, you see the spirit most when you watch one person jump out of a closet and frightens another person. Or you see these TikTok videos of someone acting like a leaf, or like they're covered in like a tree, and then they go out and touch someone walking by, and they go, ah! Oh! Some of these people flip out and they fall on the floor, and you see them shaking. That's the spirit.
Okay.
Take a little time, please, to actually let that sit with you for a minute. What's doing that? It's something that's living inside of you. That something is called spirit. It has another name as well. But spirit is good enough. Now, hold on. Now, what I was able to do to become 19-time world champion is harness that spirit. I harnessed it. I became friendly with it. I communed with it. And look what it did for me. And that's the least, and I didn't have to go through all I went through in terms of boxing. It would have been far easier if I had known this. But it seems to me as though it's like I've had to learn it the hard way in order to teach it.
would you go through your boxing career again? Let's say you transported to a teenage version of yourself. Would you decide to become a boxer again and go through the same path, or would you choose a different path?
I really don't know on that, because I really don't want to give you a quick answer, because it seems to me that mostly everyone else has to actually do it. If you were using your brains, if you were being intelligent about it, it would be easier to just do it the way of the sages, the wise men, the wise men, the older men, the seers. It would be easier to do it that way. I don't know whether I'd want to do it a different way, because it has been... No, I wouldn't want to do it a different way. I'd do it the same way.
Okay.
I'd do it the same way because the fear was good. Oh, yeah. Walking into... I went to Ireland and I fought Steve Collins on St. Patrick's Day weekend. I lost a fight, but I walked into his backyard, his people. Yeah, that's the spirit saying, like Rudyard Kipling says in his If, victory and defeat are imposters. So what is it about? Do you have the gall? Do you have the manhood to walk into the lion's den? Because if you do, you already won. And that means I look back at that now, the fact that I did that. So, in the prisons, the inmates say, I saw that. He's the geezer. Yeah, to do it in the public sphere legally, you know the courage you have to do. It's courage, and it teaches and inspires. So would I want to do it a different way? No. Okay. I'm glad I did it the way I did it, and I'm glad I'm the teacher that you can do it too. So when I'm speaking to fighters, when I'm speaking to sportsmen, whether they're fighters or not, I tell them how to do it. That's what I'm an expert in. And what really gets them is when I tell them I'm not even a tough guy. I'm not a tough guy. I mean, you're talking to me. You can feel whether I'm a tough guy or not. I'm not a tough guy by what they say a tough guy should look like. Scars and Joe, you look so, I wouldn't want to mess around with him. You're looking at me, you're thinking to yourself, this isn't Chris Eubank. But do you understand that the media gives you a view of people that is completely, that's why I say I'm nothing like what people think. I genuinely am a sensitive soul. But boxing is what I had to get into in order to do the things I wanted to do for myself, which was to get the respect of my brothers. But in so doing, I inspired all those people who were in prison. Bullies. That's not what you do. You don't bully people. You don't take from people. You help them. You use your strength of character to be a marshal, to protect and serve. And I'm able to teach it because I'm the living example. It's good. So would I want to do it a different way? No, because I've earned this position. I earned, I'm a marshal in the United States. I am the unarmed arm of the law. I go into schools and speak to youngsters about staying straight and how stupid it is to actually not use the path I've used, which is the correct path. Now, I've done all of the stupidity, all the stupid things. It doesn't work. It's a great position. I enjoy my position. So, yeah, most certainly, if I had it to do again, yeah. Life is about stories. What stories do you have? What have you done? What have you achieved? Okay, and to achieve the greatest things, the greatest of all things to achieve, it's helping people. It's helping people. It certainly isn't getting a load of money and showing your watch and showing your rings and your diamonds. The poorest people I know, all they have is money. Yes, it's a trick. It is a trick. Okay? Help people. You'll see, when you help someone, you'll see how that help you've given that person will never ever leave you. You'll always meet up with it again. And if you keep on helping people, what happens is that, over a week, a month, a year, and the years, you build up all this reputation of being a helper, to where then people see you as a champion. That's what a helper is. All you have to do is help. It's not about doing, I've got to do something really courageous. No. Being courageous is going up to that guy who's sitting there in the street begging. Being courageous is sitting down with him and spending 6 minutes with him. Because you could have been him. Because we all have a brain. What happened to his brain to make him be in that position? So that could have been me. This could be me. So if you help that person by giving that person 6 minutes of your time, 2 minutes of your time, it will come back to you, I promise you. Give the person, if you give the person 10 pence, buy the person a cup of tea or coffee. The little help. That is what the services do. Ambulance, fire brigade, police, the staff workers in homes, they're all marshals looking after people in less fortunate positions. And that's how you become fulfilled within self.
Was it difficult to teach as a father these things? Because you teach through media. I imagine that was quite a different experience. Did you feel like you were fighting against society with some of the messages that they were getting elsewhere?
Yeah, that becomes political, which I don't want to get into.
Okay.
Yeah. Isn't it strange how, words are far more important than most of us understand? Mm. And if you look at the word D, which is degrade, denigrate, D is a negative. Mm. Then you look at the word mock, how someone would mock you, make fun of you, not care about your plight. And then and then you look at crassy. So this then is a society. Democracy. Words are very important. They're far more important than what meets the eye. So in democracy, it seems to be teaching you it seems to be teaching the wrong thing. It's telling you, or the democracy that I'm seeing today is that it's telling you that men can have babies. They're trying to get you to think that.
Why? Why do you think people are trying to do that?
Oh my goodness, I felt if I knew that. Why? Why would you try to teach someone that men can have babies? Why? And now those who are believing that that is the case, look what's happening to these young men. Look at, I remember hearing a story about I don't know. The fellow was in his early 20s and, he's saying, how could you guys have done this to me? I was 8 years old. I was saying these silly things about, my anatomy. Well, I don't want that anymore. I want to be... And you let me do it. Why did you let me do that? I was 8 years old. Yeah. You can cry about something like that, but it's true. It's happening.
Scary.
Scary, but it's happening, and you know it's happening. You know it's happening. You are a broadcaster. What are you going to do about it? You are a marshal. Are you going to be an effective marshal? Someone who protects and serves the people in your position of power? You're literally a demigod. You are. Whether you like it or not, you are, because you have this station. So you're speaking to people. How are you speaking to them? Is this just about you, or is this about us? It's got to be we. That's how you become fulfilled. Anyone who's trying to be fulfilled by having £1 million in front of them and an airplane, you're missing the point. It's very, very boring up there. Having money and then you have nothing. What do you have? Nothing. You're with yourself. I've been to the top of the world. Drugs, debauchery, sex, and deviant sex. That's what's up there. So I'm so glad I always stayed on the ground. I was always grounded. And that's why they call me an eccentric.
I've heard you say, and perhaps this is tied into some of the stuff that you've mentioned, that you feel that your son will never be a world champion. Why did you say that?
Okay. I didn't actually say he would never be a world champion.
Okay.
That was in context to this. As long as you think that winning a belt that they put around your waist with an abbreviation, IBO, IBF, WBO, WBC, as long as you think that that is what makes you champion, you'll never be a champion. Everything that I've been speaking to you about, or the questions you've been asking me, the answers is what is a champion. Is what is a champion. It's the heart. Not this, oh, you can really fight. I mean, one of the greatest fighters on earth ever in the middleweight division is a fellow called James Toney. In my view, he chose to ignore the language of English. He chose to ignore gentlemanly conduct. No one talks about him. He's always threatening people. Unfortunately, it's his way. He has to be one of the greatest middleweights that's ever lived. He's never spoken about. Because his attitude is wrong. So he won the belts, but not the hearts of the people, because his mouth was tripped him. Be careful how you speak. Speak kindly. Speak in a way of investment. Invest, meaning that is always positive. You're always giving credit to. Always give credit. When you discredit, people switch off. You're just another one. People switch in when you're crediting, when you are showing gratitude, when you are helping. In whatever way. Because help comes in trillions of forms. Comes in trillions of forms. Just help. Just give a little. Because every day of your life, if you keep on giving just a little, imagine how much you've stored up in the bank of divine mathematics. Imagine how much you've stored up in in the realm of divine mathematics, when you just do a little bit every day, give a little bit, nothing to do with this, your time, teach a little, keep people on the straight and narrow. That wide path, they get destroyed. They destroy themselves. And, these democracies love that, it seems, because they always have a solution through, they always have a solution through some money-making scheme. But you've taught us to be this way. I grew up watching Benny Hill, Sid James. These may not be names you are aware of. The Carry On movies. Okay, they turned me into a pervert. So if these movies and these characters turned me into a pervert at this age, I'm talking about when I was a young age, if they turned, and I've had to undo all of that teaching, then they've turned society into perversion. I remember a friend of mine, his name was Max Clifford. A woman came out 40 years after he had a little slap and tickle with her, because that was a normal thing in the 1970s, in the 1980s. He went to prison. He died in prison.
And you don't think that was right?
What I'm pointing out to you is that the slap and tickle thing, having two girlfriends. Oh, it's really cool if you've got 2 or 3 girls. Oh, he's one with the women. He's a good looker. All of that puts the mind of us watching TV into the position, well, if I had the means, I'd be that too. I'd be what too? I'd be a pervert too. But no one calls it perversion. They say it's just really cool. No, it's perversion. And I've had to undo that out of me.
Okay.
Now think of it. I wonder who's going to challenge this. Because the society is perverted. You can't watch television, be seeing it all, and not become it. All you need is a trigger to be able to go and do it, and you will go and do it. And that trigger is money. And if you have money, then it triggers you, oh, I can do that, or I can get her. And then it teaches our young men to look at women as though they are playthings. They are not playthings. They are effectively your life. If you don't treat them right, your life is destroyed. And the society loves destroying those who misalign women. We are to be strong. We are to be protective of the female state. I'm a victim of Benny Hill. I'm a victim of Sid James. I'm a victim of all of these visualizations they made me see as a child. And I had to go and learn the hard way. So I say to, you listening to this broadcast, the easiest way for me to try and get across to you how to do it is to look at the principles and prerequisites of Queen Elizabeth II. Be a gentleman. Be a gentleman. And ladies be, and girls be a lady.
I believe you started working with your nephew Harlem.
Yes.
Do you feel it's your responsibility to protect him from some of these things?
It's my responsibility to protect all fighters from the game. My brother was a victim of the game. He died at 62. Frontal lobe dementia is real, and this is what's happening to us fighters when we are not being managed correctly, when we're being used as fodder, cannon fodder, to build up other fighters. You know, I can't tell you how much I loved my brother. In the last year of his life, 9 months, I couldn't go and see him. I couldn't go and see him to see him locked in his body, imprisoned in his own body. And that's the current promoters who did that to him. Do I blame them? No, I don't blame them, because that's the racket, or that's the game. It's the game of life. My brother was a victim.
Do you think you were a victim?
They tried to victimize me, but no, I was too strong. I was too grounded. When you're grounded, it means your mind is on the ground, meaning that you're looking at everything fairly. So I learn from the mistakes, and I teach what to do and what not to do now. Victim. So I can look at it this way now, that I have used the system of capitalism through boxing to teach others what to do and what not to do. You are not to trust other people with your career. You're supposed to actually listen to people like me, listen to Mike Tyson in the boxing world. Listen to us because we've been there. You're not going to do it another way successfully. You're dealing with a system which is legal, but these people will do what they can to get things going their way when it's not legal. A lot of these people are running amok. And the fighters, we the fighters are the victims. So, you gotta look into who's inside of you. You have a spirit inside of you. Speak to this spirit. Speak to this spirit. Commune with this spirit. Stop looking at everything outside of you, because that's all bling. It's getting you nowhere. There's a name I'd like to give you listeners or watchers. The name is Neville Goddard. He'll tell you about your imagination and how powerful you are. Yeah. It reminds me of Nelson Mandela. The speech, it says as follows. Our deepest fear shouldn't be that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear should be that we are powerful beyond measure. For you see, it is our light, not our darkness, that should most frighten us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, talented, fabulous, and gorgeous? Well, actually, who are you not to be? After all, you are a child of the universe. The world will not be served by your playing small. For you see, there is nothing enlightened about shrinking, so others around you won't feel insecure. For we were born to make manifest the glory of the universe which is within us. And when we let our own light shine, we unconsciously allow others to do the same. And in liberating ourselves from our own fears, our presence automatically liberates others. Do not cut that up, please.
Sure.
Okay? Those three little, slips of the tongue were perfect.
Okay.
Okay. You know, fear. Listen to what I said about fear. Fear, it debilitates you. So be positive. Be of courage. Be courageous. Step forward. And when I say step forward, I'm saying step forward in kindness. Help the situation. Lift the situation. Yeah.
You mentioned there that fighters often listen to the wrong people and they lead them astray. Do you feel that your son has done that to some extent? Is he listening to the wrong people now?
Of course. Yeah. You know, the game, the industry is full of these people, and he's choosing to go and learn the hard way. Oh, it's going to be a tough lesson. It's going to be a tough lesson, but if you can't hear, you're going to feel dreadlocks. You're going to feel.
Do you have a complicated relationship with your son now because of this message, and perhaps it contradicts with what other people are telling him?
No, our relationship isn't Our relationship isn't complicated for me. I know. He's the one who doesn't know. And what he's going to do now, he's going to go and find out the hard way. And so what's going to happen is that he's going to end up teaching what I'm teaching, meaning that he's learned the hard way. So now or in the future, he will then become the example. And then he can speak it and give his own experience of why you should follow your dad, follow your father, follow the person, your higher self, follow the people who love you, the people who have been there. Be obedient to those who are giving you instruction that's going to aid you. You know, he wanted to step away from the wheel. Well, now you've done that. But it's great. It's great. It's not negative. It just means he's going to learn. I wanted to help him not befall all the things he's going to experience. But this is his course, and I can't do anything about that. It's his right. It's his gift. Because there's no negatives. It's life. It's an experience. So now he will experience some of the things that I experienced, and he'll be a teacher as I am now a teacher. Yeah.
Do you think he will be more appreciative of you when he's older?
All children are. What child isn't like, well, I wish I would have listened to my dad? Yeah. If they had a dad, if they were lucky enough to have a dad. So, you know, I say for those who don't have dads, I'm your dad, whether you like it or not. I'm always going to be trying to help you. All you've got to do is just be gentle with yourself. Be gentle with yourself. I don't know whether we have the time now because we're probably just over an hour. But I'd like to tell you desiderata, as we've just brought up, being gentle with yourself. Desiderata. Go placidly, go calmly, go placidly amid the noise and the haste, and remember what peace there may be in silence. As far as possible, without surrender, be on good terms with all persons. Speak your truth, clearly and quietly, and listen to others, even the dull and the ignorant, for they too have their story. If you compare yourself with others, you may become vain or bitter, for always there will be greater and lesser persons than yourself. Enjoy your achievements as well as your plans. Keep interested in your own career, however humble it may be. For you see, it is a great fortune in the changing fortunes of time. Exercise caution in your business affairs, for the world is full of trickery. But let this not blind you to what virtue there is. Many persons you see strive for high ideals, and everywhere life is full of heroism. Be yourself, especially do not feign affection. Neither be cynical about love. For in the face of all aridity and disenchantment, it is as perennial as the grass. Take kindly the counsels of the years, gracefully surrendering the things of youth. Nurture strength of spirit to shield you in sudden misfortune, but do not distress yourself with imaginings. Many fears are born of fatigue and loneliness. Beyond a wholesome discipline, be gentle with yourself. After all, you are a child of the universe. You are no less than the trees and the stars. You do have a right to be here. And whether or not it is clear to you, the universe is unfolding as it should. Therefore, be at peace with the universe, God, nature, whatever you conceive it to be, and whatever your labors and aspirations in this noisy confusion of life, keep peace with your soul, your inner being. For you see, with all its sham, drudgery, and broken dreams, it is still a beautiful world. So be careful and aim above all things to be happy, peace of mind, happy, and that's about communing with self. Neville Goddard, he teaches it so well. Neville Goddard.
Do we have time for another question?
That would be great to, of course. Okay, please.
I'd like to get your opinion about something that probably isn't a good example of helping others, and that's influencer boxing, the likes of KSI and Jake Paul. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on people coming from outside into boxing? They have audiences so they can get big paydays. What are your thoughts on that?
In Desiderata. Yeah, keep interested in your own career. However humble it may be, it is a real possession in the changing fortunes of time. The changing fortunes of time. Who would have thought a YouTuber could come up and make all of this fame, of which may not be used in the correct way? Make all this money, which gives them the ability to be what they've been taught by a system that is backwards. Perhaps the best way I can actually answer that question, in fact, is to hear what I've said when KSI was to have some type of boxing match with another one of these characters. I'll give you the video. I'll show it to you in a minute after this broadcast. I'm positive about everything because the world is always changing and one has to move with it. But it can't change and mustn't change where truth is concerned. And we as the men, beautiful men, all us men, must be the bastions for following the rules and exposing those who are trampling the rules. Yeah.
So no famous amateurs, for example, fighting professionals, things along those lines, that the lines is seemingly blurred sometimes with that sort of thing.
Well, it's not blurred to someone like me, it's running amok. Okay? Which is where Mr. Smith, the Boxing Board of Control, where, he has to implement his job, his position. He has to uphold, along with me, along with all people who are of the right mind, to be the bastions to follow the rules. They tried to boil my son down to 157. He would have lost his life. He could have lost his life with that fight that they were trying to engineer. But you see, that's what happens when you don't have protection from those who have been there. Now you have promoters running boxing with their own wherewithal. Well, that's what I want to do. Well, can we do that? Can we get away with that? That's what they're doing. Not understanding that this is, again, the last bastion of something which is discipline for the nation. I'm a boxer. I'm gentle. I never used it outside of the ring. I am the warrior. And this is what we are to follow. The warrior. Not someone who says, oh, I'm a warrior, but doesn't have a past to back it up. A warrior, someone who's actually been there, done it. And I'm not boasting. I had to earn this. Okay, and I have the respect of the community at large. So I will end now on the warrior's code. I am warrior. I have to be strong. The wisdom, an amalgamation of precedent. Yet, my decisions cannot be based on the frailties of this democracy. I am rather fueled by divine inspiration ascending from here, my heart. I don't know anger. I don't know anger. The warrior doesn't know anger. You know, his position is to show superior behavior to the creator of all men. The warrior does not judge. He's not supposed to judge. For his true assignment, again, is to deliver evidence of superior behavior to the creator of all men. The warrior doesn't dream of frontiers. He only sees horizons. The warrior is a creature of irony, for his genuine task is to ensure peace. Irony. They say I'm really tough, yet all I want to do is speak peace and implement peace. I know, embrace, and love all things which are pure. Purity, truth. And only when one can fully absorb these most divine of all virtues can one at last see how impossible, how stupid, how foolish it is to make war, and making war. Speaking down to people, about people. He's this, he's that, she's this, she's that. Elevate people. I don't listen to people who talk people down. I listen to people who elevate. The code of the warrior is, and those who would mock it are numpties. There's nothing wrong with being a numpty. You'll come to. Not people grow up, because it doesn't mean someone is finished because they are behaving like a moron. It only means that they're going to learn. They're going to come good too. Everyone's going to come good. How do I know? I became good. And no one was as... Who could have been? You'd have to actually know what I've been through. And I take it all with a smile. Why? Because I was blessed to have some type of faith that I was always going to be okay. Why? Because I believed in what my parents taught me, or what Queen Elizabeth II taught me. Be a gentleman. And when you are, you're beautiful. And no one can deny it. And it's plain to see. It's plain. Because it's on the ground. And may I end by saying, Rastafari. That's another story, another interview.
Okay, that sounds
okay,
good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Let's get a discussion going in the comments. Did you agree with what Chris said? Disagree? Let us know. Make sure you like and subscribe so you never miss another one of my exclusive podcast episodes, and you can watch another video right here.